I fight
All
in
right,
the UFC
in fairness,
now. Where did Bruce Lee fight? I'm gonna listen. First of all, I would fuck Bruce Lee up.
Wait a minute.
I would fuck Bruce Lee up.
Because he's dead.
No, in his prime.
He's got old
in his
balls.
prime.
Bruce Lee.
Come on,
fuck
man.
Bruce Lee up.
Dude. Yes, straight up, dude. 100%. I fight in the UFC
in fairness,
now.
In fairness.
Where did Bruce Lee fight? In the fucking movie?
Yeah, all right.
I'm sure he had some skill, but like he's not landing. Like I'm a way bigger human. People
was like water.
All right, listen. I would have been a fucking tidal wave on that motherfucker. I gotta say, so Bruce Lee did have an advantage because I'm a student of the fight game and all that shit. He was on that jiu-jitsu shit and different things like that. So that does give him,
Let me digest what this bloke just said. What has he been smoking? I want some of that. Come out with a bold statement like that, ridiculous statement. I can beat Bruce Lee up. I can fuck Bruce Lee up. No, you can't. Because until you beat someone, you can't say, I can beat him. Because you don't know you can beat him. It's just a phrase, I can beat him. So Bruce wasn't doing jiu-jitsu. Bruce was Jeet Can Do. Jiu-jitsu was formed in Japan, and the Gracies took it and modernized it. So for you to come out and say, I can beat Bruce Lee, is ridiculous. I want to know what you've been smoking. And I can guarantee you that you wouldn't last 50 seconds with Bruce. Because if people out there coming out and saying Bruce was untouchable, well, okay, they might be just saying that, but it must be true. Because no one ever come out and said they beat Bruce Lee or they can beat Bruce Lee. No one ever. In 51 years, no one ever come out and said that. And for you to come out and say, I can fuck Bruce Lee up, social media where hundreds and thousands of people can see you, it's ridiculous.
Wow. Yeah. Bruce Lee would be no match for
me.
That's how I listen to Michael J. White.
Bruce Lee? Really? Bruce Lee is 132 pounds. I outweigh him by 100 pounds.
Does size
matter? Size matters, baby.
Oh,
yeah. Size matters a great deal. But that slipped out. But but yeah, size matters a great deal. It's too big of a discrepancy. He can run across the street. I ain't gonna feel it.
Doesn't matter.
in Expendables,
Sorry, Michael, but I disagree with you there. As much as I like your movies and you're a great martial artist, size doesn't matter. Because if your set skills are more superior than your opponent, it doesn't matter how big they are. In fact, it make it easier for you to hit the target. So the fight will be over quick. So when you come out and you criticize somebody that put the bread on the table for you, Bruce Lee, because if it wasn't for Bruce Lee, you wouldn't be in the action movies. Because the only thing you know is martial arts. So without Bruce Lee, there wouldn't be a lot of martial arts in the movies. Because when he done the Enter the Dragon, all the Hollywood is looked back and said, well, okay, we'll put a lot of martial arts in the movies. So hence, that's why you're in the movies, because of your martial arts skills. Nothing else. But if you talk about the size, have a look at Mike Tyson, how he destroys the bigger opponents. And the next clip I'm going to show you, it proves it further. So when you come out and say, I can beat Bruce Lee, well, that's been disrespectful for the person that has paved the way for you to be in the movies. Without him, you wouldn't be in the movies.
Good job, too, from Balaev. He's very rarely that is the big question. Good right hand from Hayder. He's probably winning the last. Two good shots from him. So he must feel like it's paper darts against the mouth. Oh, he's got it going with a left hook. What a finish here. Hey, gets David now wishing he had gone for it earlier and tested this.
And there you see the proof that size doesn't matter. David versus Goliath. So when you come out and say size matters, no, it doesn't. It's been proven many times, size doesn't matter. If you got the set skills and you're more experienced fighter than the opposite fighter, then you got a chance of winning a fight. Hello there, welcome to the channel. Before I start, I'd like to say thank you for watching this video. And if you like this video and the content, please hit the like button and subscribe, and let's grow this channel. The videos I like to make is about combat sport because I love fighting. Now, I'm in a position to give my opinion like other people do because I've done combat sports for 20 years, professionally and amateur. So let's get the ball rolling. And let's say the subject today is Bruce Lee. And the reason why is I'm a huge fan of Bruce Lee. Not because he can fight or he can't fight or he's an actor. It's because what I saw him do. Now, when I watched Bruce Lee in a Big Boss, I thought this guy can move. And then when I saw him in the Way of the Dragon fighting Chuck Norris, and he mixed up his fighting with a Muhammad Ali's style, and the way he moved like a ballet dancer, it was graceful. It was mesmerizing to watch. He made it look so easy. So whether Bruce Lee can fight or not, that's besides the point. So when I go onto social media and then these people come out and say I can beat Bruce Lee and the weight matters, and then some other guy comes out and says I'm in a UFC fighter, I can beat Bruce Lee, I'll fuck Bruce Lee up. Well, that's been disrespectful as well. I'll come to that. I'll come to him any minute. Now, the guy that said he can beat Bruce Lee and the weight matters, well, weight doesn't matter. Because if you're a good fighter and your set skills are higher than your opponent and he's bigger than you, it's much easier for you to defeat that opponent because you've got a bigger target, easier target to hit. The outcome is going to be exactly the same. You're going to come out on top because your set skill is better. Now, when you come out and say that as a martial artist in the movies, instead of thanking the guy that you are in that position, that you're earning money, because let's be honest, if it wasn't for Bruce Lee, you wouldn't be where you are. You wouldn't be in the action movies. Now, if you was a good actor, then you would be an A-lister. You wouldn't need to do action movies. You just go into comedies or things like that, but you're not. All you're good at is martial arts. Now, when you claiming that you can beat Bruce Lee, how do you know? How do you know you can beat Bruce Lee? Have you fought him? Until you beat someone, you can't say, well, I can beat him. When you say, I can beat him, you're guessing. So many times people say, well, I can beat him, and they go against him, and they lose. Until you fight that person and you beat him, then you can say, well, I can beat him. Do you get what I'm saying? Don't say you can beat someone until you proved it, because that's just guessing. Right? And the other guy come out and said, well, I'm a UFC fighter, I can fuck Bruce Lee up. Well, hold on a minute. How many fights have you had? How many did you win? And how many did you lose? Have you fought Bruce Lee? Well, no, you haven't. And my other point is, without Bruce Lee, that two person wouldn't be where they are now. No one would even know them. It's because of Bruce Lee that you are where you are. Bruce Lee popularized MMA and UFC. Now, MMA was going on way before Bruce Lee. It was going on for thousands of years ago in Greece, and then in Roman time, where they had the sport, and they had MMA in that sports. I think there was called pancration, where they had kicking, punching, wrestling. Two blokes got together, they were kicking, punching, and wrestling. And before Bruce Lee came into the scene, there was Muay Thai going on, kickboxing. So Bruce did not invent MMA. Bruce popularized MMA. Now, when Bruce went into the scene in 1965, 1967, and he done a demo in Ed Parker tournament, it was with his students, and people coming out and saying Bruce fought. He had a real fight. It wasn't a real fight. It was a two blokes having a sparring match. Bruce, as a teacher with his student, sparring match, showing the world there's a new way of fighting, because Bruce didn't like point karate. Now he wanted to become a real fighter. So then Joe Louis got together with Bruce Lee, and it come out with a full contact. Like I said, full contact was going way before Bruce Lee, but it was Bruce Lee and Joe Louis that popularized full contact. Now, when Joe Louis was fighting in a point karate, which is only 2 points, and you won, and if you hit someone, you get disqualified. I know, 2 points, you win. You hit someone very hard, you get disqualified, or you get point deducted. That's not fighting. That's technical fighting. I call that technical fighting. Real fighting is in the street where there's no rules. You don't know your opponent. You don't know how he's going to fight, how he's going to react. What you do in the gym or in a club is completely different in the street. In the street, your nerves goes. Your legs will start shaking because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what your opponent is. You don't know how his set skill is. So when you say you can beat someone up, you can't say you can beat him up until you beat him. The other point I'm trying to make is when Bruce came into the scene in 1965, 67, he did done that demo, and Joe Louis and Bruce Lee got together because Joe Louis didn't like point karate as well. He wanted to do full contact. Joe Louis admitted himself that Bruce Lee improved his fighting and he became even better fighter. And anybody that went in front of Joe Louis, he just destroyed them. He said that himself. Now, later on, after Bruce died, full contact became more popular. And then when the MMA was formed, they were doing similar to full contact until Gracie's came. And when Gracie's start wiping everybody, making them submit and using a jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, everybody start taking interest in jiu-jitsu. So they start forming. So in other words, the fighting start evolving. And every year or every 2 years, you see the fighting evolving. You get in a different type of fighting system. So then you got the UFC. So Bruce Lee did not invent MMA or UFC. He just popularized it. But when you say Bruce Lee can't fight, well, you're wrong there as well. Because why would Joe Louis ask Bruce to help him to improve his fighting? Because if I'm a fighter, which I used to do, when I used to go to a club to learn, if the teacher wasn't as good as me, I'll walk away and go to another gym. Because why would I want to learn from somebody that can't fight? It doesn't make no sense. And when a guy is training for years and years and years, 365 days of the year, and he's got the physique and the speed and the power, and if he can't fight, well, that's ridiculous. Why would you do that? Why would you train all them years, 365 days of the year? And the other point, which is there's quite a lot of points, Bruce traveled from a country to country, and in 51 years, no one ever come out and said, I can beat Bruce Lee, or Bruce Lee was useless. Because there's a lot of fighters out there that like to boost their ego by beating someone. I know, because when I used to fight, there used to be a lot of people that want to challenge you and beat you and say they can say, well, I beat him. So why didn't anybody come out and said they can beat Bruce Lee? Even up to now, 2023, no one come out and said Bruce Lee. So when you come out and say you can beat Bruce Lee, you're talking ridiculous. Now, before I finish, I'd like to say thank you for watching this video. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you.